lighting is very calming. I like it. I like what they did with it. It looks
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the switch up.
Yeah.
Either that, I think either that or the red color was nice. Or both. But we all know you and your gang violence.
I just
You
like
and
the
your
blue. As you can see, I like the blue. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh my God, so gross. So she didn't want to talk about Ja Morant, guys. Hey, oh, and we're Not So Common NSC podcast coming back at you. World's most dangerous podcast. Uh, we're talking about Ja.
I don't want to talk about
We're
it.
talking Ja.
I really.
Why you mad at Ja?
disappointing.
Why you mad at him?
Disappointing as a fan. That man makes too much money. I understand that he's young. $200 million, and you doing dumb things, swinging around a gun on Instagram Live. Your boy tried to save you,
Yeah,
but it was too late.
So was it illegal? I mean, what?
No, I don't think that it was illegal. I don't know what state they were actually in, but for people that are looking up to him, kids looking up to him, we just ran through this with him, what, about a month or two ago?
Yeah, he's supposed to have
know?
that whole interview to where he was changed and
Yeah.
he's a changed man.
Right? You tried it, and now the people see it.
I
That's
also
all
think
I
with
have
this
to say.
with the celebrity status like that, like whether you want to think this way or not, like there are so many people that are looking up to you, and it's like you have to try your best to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's perfect, but you have to be aware that no matter if you're cutting loose and having a good time or even with your friends, the day and age that we live in with social media and cameras being on every single device that you possibly can
Yeah.
have and gadget, the possibility is there and not everyone is for you. And sure, it could have been, him and his friends, hanging out and having a good time, but then how do I don't know the story and how it got leaked or anything, but it's like if you have to just be aware of aware of your surroundings and know that you are in the public eye 24/7. And sometimes bad publicity. What is it the saying? Good or
Bad publicity is still good
good publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but still, like you have to just always, I feel like, bear in mind that your status, you are in the public eye, and your actions are watched
I mean,
and
even
followed.
yeah, but even going back to what she said, your friend tried to save him. Yeah, he did try to move the camera, but he's as your friend, and I know what you do, and I know there's a gun in here. We all know there. I'm not even gonna put you on IG Live.
Right.
I'm not even
Yeah.
putting it nowhere. And guys, Chelsea and Austin again,
Right.
they're back.
What's up,
Uh,
guys?
Their power couple name is Charleston, so that's where we're going. We're going by Charleston.
Oh my
That's their
gosh.
power couple name.
Oh my god!
That was the best
I
you could come
like
up with.
it. I like it. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
we got Charleston
Okay.
in here.
Right.
But yeah, he should never had him on IG Live in the first place because
Right.
you know who he is. You know he's not smart enough not to do it. It was I don't know what's so special about this gun that he needs everybody to see it, but he's obviously not a Crip. Chris been talking. He's not that. Now, if he keeps doing that, they might. Hey, look, they're gonna come see you.
Man.
They might come see
They
you. You
might
might have to pay a
want it.
fine. You might have to pay the Crips. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you want to be.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
And again, being in the public eye, they're able to see all these things that he's doing, and him having no affiliations with them. It's kind of like, who's to say that one of them is not, let's make a point.
Exactly.
You're talking about this, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what's up then? We're right here, real time, right now. What,
Mhm.
And that's messed
Yeah,
up.
and they will do that.
He is
That's
They will
talented.
do that.
That's
They have other
so
rappers that have to
talented.
check in with these gangs when they come to town and do a show. They got to go see these gangs and pay their respects or whatever. Go see them. So I mean, what they gonna do to you?
Right.
You know,
Right.
they don't care nothing about your money.
Right.
So
yeah, that's scary. That's potentially a scary situation that he's putting himself in
yeah,
by his choice of.
Yeah, they're making easy money. Doing something you love to do.
and look,
Making money.
yeah, and it's I know it's not just that. It's all the previous
fame.
things that he's been involved with, like the kid in the shoe store that he chased around.
Mhm.
That his mom was there called him saying, this kid is disrespecting me. And he goes up there and chases this guy around in a fucking shoe store. It's like, bro, you have to be the one. Somebody has to think in your group. Like, if you can't do it, somebody has to.
Right.
And the real ones are always going to tell you when you're messing up. If you don't got that person in your group, you're in the wrong group.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure
forget
because of his celebrity status, he has to have some type of PR representative, right? So, like, to some degree, I would assume that because you are in the public eye, so like interviews and camera presence and say this and definitely don't say this. This is going to get into politics. Keep it this right here, you know? So like when he is acting like that, it's like, sure, let's say that said professional PR rep is not physically there, but like who's the backup? Who's plan B? When you're in such a spotlight like that, it's like it's not just one person
Yeah.
is, you know, on 24/7 with this other person making sure that they are on track and they're not wilding out, you know what I mean? So, or to the best that they possibly can.
Yeah, but they're that second in charge or second person to back up that PR is his friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's his
Right.
friends, and he's the breadwinner. So sometimes when you're the one that's making all the money and you're having everybody else eat, people don't tell you when you're messing up because they don't want you to get mad at them. They don't want you to kick them out. But
Right.
at the end of the day, they might respect you more for keeping his money going. You know,
Yeah.
because obviously, you know, we say he's young and dumb, but he's 23 with a child. You know,
Mhm.
most people grow up when they have a child. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
he's not mentally. You know, so unfortunately for him, he has nobody thinking when he's not thinking.
Right. He wants to have a good time. I understand that, but there's a way to do that. You don't have to go out there and show off and show out all the time.
Maybe
You
maybe
know?
you need to go be friends with him.
Man,
Let him know.
man, yeah, I mean, everybody got guns, honestly. I mean, so you don't have
Yeah.
to show it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
as
Like, what's so
simple as
special
that.
about this gun?
Right,
Like,
right,
you have to keep on doing it.
right.
Like, it makes no sense. Jai, get your shit together, Jai.
Yeah.
Get your stuff together.
Please do. You're so talented.
Yeah, and his mom, or his, I mean, what about his dad and you know, his mom? Are they talking to him?
I don't know.
Because his mom, the one that called him from for the shoe store, I mean, she should have said, you know, don't do this. Let your security handle it, you know? He has a $200 million basketball contract.
Right.
Then his shoe and Gatorade and all those other, that's even more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Right. And if
He's
you,
making money.
yeah, being in the spotlight like that, having all of these brands, business connections and ties to or with, you know, it's kind of like, I hate to, like, I feel like it's kind of going a little bit further, but like Kanye, when he was, you know, for lack of better words, spiraling and saying things, and all of these other clothing brands were like, hey, no, I'm not, no, we can't do this anymore. We can't,
Mhm.
not, you know, so like, it's just, he's going to end up having those business connections like slowly trimmed off one by one, you know, potentially.
yeah, well,
Yes.
right now they're pulling in ads. I mean, I don't think they really took any money yet. They just took the ads, which, I mean, you're gonna buy Josh. If you're a fan, you're gonna buy it anyway. So as long as the stuff is there, I mean, pulling the ads we're not gonna forget who Ja is, you know.
Right.
So
As long
I
as he
mean,
gets to continue to play. I
yeah,
mean,
play like Ja Morant, not Ja Moran. You know, that's what you
real.
gotta do.
For real.
So anyway, hey, appreciate you guys being here again, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting us once again.
Cause that conversation we had last week was dope as shit. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a good conversation for sure.
Yeah, and actually, I think I may have told you somebody actually wanted me to cover some stuff with y'all as far as marriage
Mm-hmm.
and you know the laws and the rights and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was wondering, like, is Texas like a state that allows gay marriage? And they do. You know, they supported like what since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they didn't? What would y'all do?
Ugh. One or two things. It would depend on how red Texas is becoming. Um, you know, we could either go to another state, which a lot of couples have done because their state it was illegal
To move there or just get married
to
there?
go just get married there and then come back to their home state. So like that would be a potential option.
Wait, is that still legal? Like, would it still make the marriage legal? Like, if once the state you're living in don't support or don't acknowledge it, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, don't, I guess acknowledge, but another state does, but you get married there, will it still count here?
So I don't know about I can't say
Right.
this. I don't know about filing. Like I know a few couples that live in Texas back when it was not legal yet. So before 2015 that they lived in Texas and then they went to go get married in California or Colorado, I think was another one. And then they came back. Now, I did not ask where they filed it at. So because if you go to file a marriage license in Texas, are they just taking it as, okay, your marriage license, we'll file it, great. and that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or is it we don't perform ceremonies of same-sex couples because it's against the law, but if you had a marriage license that was already completed and you filed it back in your state, I don't know if that was, or, you know, not okay or not acceptable or not by the law. I don't know. I have no idea. That's a good question. Maybe that some of the guys out here know or have personally gone through that, or know someone who did and said, yeah, before then we did go to another state. We had to file it in that state. And then we came back to our home state, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
or if they, you know, had the ceremony in the other state and then came back to
Right.
file it. I don't know. That's a
idea.
good question.
Yeah,
But yeah, we haven't gone through.
because the person that asked me, she was wanting to know that, like, she was saying something about like all the rights are going to be could be like gone soon. Like, and I don't get like what's really. I know Florida is on a whole new terror about it, you know,
Mm.
but I didn't even realize like, are they taking rights away? Like, what's the whole point of like what's going on with that?
I just think it's
Control.
a Republican thing more than anything. I feel like, especially in Texas, especially in Texas. Maybe not a Republican thing. Maybe scratch that. Maybe take that back. Take that back. But I think that Texas is just so. I don't know. It's. I mean, it's predominantly Republican. It's a red state. You know.
I mean, they're not even allowing women to have abortions at a certain time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has a lot to do with, to me, is just control, you know? I don't see why it's such a big deal to everybody, you know?
I don't either.
Especially when
It's
that's not their
unfortunate.
life that they live. You know.
Right.
It's like, how can you dictate?
We're not out there bothering them.
So I
Literally not. Yeah.
Like, we're not out there to get them or do anything.
So I was at work just going through my head a lot of shit, right? Well, especially about this stuff. And so, you know, you hear conversations at work about it because everybody has an opinion. And I was just thinking in my head, like, oh yeah, did y'all ever grow up religious?
I didn't.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
And, you know, what the church says about it and stuff like that. Did you, how did that affect you?
I mean, it was difficult whenever I was, like, growing up and coming out.
Mhm.
You know, whenever I was going, up until I want to say maybe about the age of like 12, because then I started being in like competitive sports.
Mhm.
Um, it was fun. I didn't see any other like same-sex couples. Obviously, it was I went to a Baptist church. It was very small, like
Oh
very
hell no, you weren't
small.
seeing. Only the
So
choir
I
director maybe
didn't.
was gay. That was it. It's always the choir
Could have
director.
been. But I didn't I wasn't exposed to anything like that. Now whenever it was time to come out, I mean, it was difficult because they were not accepting of it.
Mhm.
Like I said, I would bring like girlfriends around and it would be, you know, a year, 2 years in, and by the time that, you know, I continued to bring them over, it's like, oh, who's your friend? Who is that? Just
Yeah. completely
just not acknowledging it at all.
Yeah, it was like because I was just thinking about it, and you know, people, you know, especially the church
Mm-hmm.
condemns the hell, like, yeah, gay going to hell. What about Sodom and Gomorrah and
Oh,
all that shit? And I was just thinking, like, when did they get so? You know, first of all, is this story even real in the first place? You know what I'm saying? But they would say it, but I was like, why do they go so hard at like, why? You know?
I have no idea. They're not supposed to be hating, so I have no idea
And
why
yeah, then the
it affects them
Catholic
so
priest,
much.
you know, this is
Oh,
another story
too
about
many
that,
stories
you
about
know?
that.
And I was just wondering, what's the point of it all? And it led me to even like going through that, it led me to a question I had to ask. So me and my friends are on a group chat, right? It's all guys. We just we pose questions and just see who's gonna answer. Like what's everybody's thought? And my question was basically the overall question is what's the point of it all? And I'm talking about the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about I grew up in a religious household. We say, you know, uh, they talk about how God kicked the devil out, put him down here, cause all this chaos, right? And we have to now choose good and bad, evil. You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm thinking about what's real about this. Why would you kick your a bad guy down here where your humans are? We have all these other planets in our solar system with nothing on it. Why not just put them over there? You know what I'm saying? Why?
So many.
My whole mind, my
So many.
my whole mind was just going on like, what's the point of all this shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't know.
And we just sparked a big ass conversation of what's right, what's wrong, what's considered good and what's bad.
Right.
And we just, and of course everybody has their different definitions of what's good, bad, evil.
Mhm.
You know, it's more like what's socially considered good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to this one guy talking. He was like, he's a smart guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says when he was in when he was in school, he was always in trouble. But he was very smart. But he was in trouble because he challenged the teachers. He challenged what was being taught. Not on a bad level, but he just was outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was considered bad, but a student who sits down, shuts up, and just do what teacher said, but doesn't challenge, doesn't make anybody smarter,
Mm-hmm.
is the good student. So,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know. That's people's, I guess, personal opinions.
Perspective, how they were raised,
Yeah.
you know? Was that child, like in that example, like was that child brought up in a home where they were encouraged to
Yeah,
speak up?
he
and ask
had
questions when things
parents
don't
that
make
were pretty smart.
Yeah, when things don't make sense or if you don't understand it, ask questions. If you get the answer and it still doesn't make sense, ask more questions. You
Right.
know, don't let that always ask questions and never be intimidated or hesitant to ask questions. You know, so it's like what if he was raised in that type of environment, so to bring that to school and do the same thing, and then you have the kids like you were saying that are sitting down and being quiet and those are the good kids, and it's like, well, what is it that's being taught at home? You know, you are a child, you are to be seen, not heard. Sit there, like a situation like that. I think it just has a lot to do with like how you're raised in your home, also who your friends are, and what you if you can recognize your own um like your own value and thoughts and opinions, and take everyone else's into consideration, but not just roll with theirs because they're family.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, I'll save that little nugget for later, I'll think on it, but has a mind of their own and is able to come to their own analysis or conclusion on their own.
But all that was intertwined with what we were talking about, you guys last week, and my thoughts on that. But it was kind of like the conformity part. Like,
Yeah.
you grew up in an environment that was obviously not with that, but you had your own, you still kept your own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Stay true to who you were.
Mm-hmm.
And would you be considered the bad one in that situation? But it's good that you still, I mean, your example there, a lot of people.
Yeah, living
what I'm
my
saying?
truth.
Yeah. Which is, everybody sees that and it makes other people stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that I would still be considered the bad one, because I am what they would call different,
But look at the different people in our history, the ones who were, I'm talking about, who changed things.
Mhm.
They were the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And we look back now and praise them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure in that moment, nah, it wasn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's you. You changing shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, now a couple of the other ones have, come out. So, yeah.
Have you ever had that situation where somebody asked you advice or?
Um, Not really my advice, but some people just ask me, how it went, my experiences with that. So yeah, in that way, I have been able to talk about it more.
Has anybody ever came to you and was like, I want to come out? Do you have any advice for me?
No, I don't think anyone's ever come to me and asked like advice to what do I say to come out to or how do I do it or anything like that. I knew that these people were struggling with their identity. They weren't ready to come out at that time, so just giving them like words of encouragement and just telling them how refreshing and lighter you feel once you come out, whatever you're coming out as. And it's just a light, like it's a weight has been lifted off of you, and it's just very refreshing. And there's an empowering sense about it too. And you kind of feel like you get your control back. Whereas you feel, or, like I felt like it was taken away from me, when I was outed before I was ready to come out or even really knew what coming out meant. I was outed and then I was bullied.
Yeah, which is
And
a
so
fucked up
went back into
situation.
the
Yeah.
proverbial
For real.
closet and was like, nope, that was intense. That was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Never want to do that again. And so, yeah, that was that. But, it just is such a light, like just refreshing feeling. And so that's all I've told him is like, it'll be on your time. I mean, your terms. Nobody can tell anyone when to come out kind of thing. But when you do, it's good. Just get all that back. It's really refreshing.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like, oh, hey, self. There you are, girl. It's been a minute, or whatever it is. So it is. It's very freeing.
Do you feel like the same way with like transgender also and all that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. That's a whole different level of coming out. I feel
Yeah, I
like.
think so too.
Coming out as gay or lesbian, that's one, or bisexual, right? That's one. But coming out as trans, that's a whole nother hurdle, like a coming out hurdle they have to go over, because not only are they coming out to say, hey, this is who I really am, and I've just been kind of living this lie to appease everyone, because that's just what I thought I was supposed to do, or what I was told I was supposed to do, or what I felt maybe was the right thing to do so I wouldn't be ridiculed. And then coming out to say that, as like a woman, I feel like I was born a man, and I have to put myself, like I have to become the person who I've always felt I was. And in order to do that, and also it's a monetary thing as well, because
What do you mean?
Your hormone, you go, you have your hormones, the treatments.
Oh yeah, you talking about as far as the whole transitioning part. Okay.
Transitioning, going to so many therapy, or I don't even think it would be who's a psychology appointments. You have to go through so many of those first before, like when the person is considering surgery, like be it top or bottom surgery, because you are changing your body. You're about to change your body. So it's like, we need to talk through this and make sure that that we feel that you are equipped to handle this, or maybe we push it off a little bit more and continue therapy kind of thing, is what I've been told by friends. And so it's just, I couldn't imagine doing that. That takes guts. That takes grit. That's a whole nother hurdle, in my opinion. And when a trans person comes out, like, I just completely commend them for it, because it's and they're able to be comfortable in their skin, their own skin. Like, they took back their control. They took back that power. They're, they don't, they're ruling now, kind of thing, and that's such, like I was saying, like an empowering and a freeing feeling. So I can't imagine what that is like, but I know that, like, respect is there, because that's a whole nother coming out hurdle than being ridiculed for being gay and all these other things. That's a whole nother hurdle. I mean, trans communities statistically are being, hurt. They're being killed. They're being beat up. They're being raped, left for dead. Like, they are targeted. I feel they're so much more targeted than your gay or lesbians, bis, like, they are just, people just don't, I feel like, if they don't understand what this, what trans is and what that stands for, and just everything, then they just kind of, they push it to the side, and they just label it as like disgusting and not okay and weird. And it's kind of like that outlook on them is just kind of like, no, you're disgusting, you're being weird. This person had the courage enough to come out and say who they are. Sure, the other person had not experienced anything like that, but still, like, just, it's not your life. It's not your life.
Yeah.
Even if you don't care, and your response is like, oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
and it's not as, like, in depth, like, but still, like, it's not a big deal to me. It's not a big deal at all. I just think that it's definitely rougher for them.
I think the major thing about trans is they go into the sports world right now, because to me that's the all the topic I really hear. Like, I hear they're getting targeted, like beat up and stuff like that. I never see it, but you always see it when it comes to the sports world, right? And it's usually only ones I've seen. I haven't seen a woman who becomes a man and wants to play a sport with all men. If they are, I just haven't seen it. But it's always a man wants to be a woman and then wants to go to women's sports. I mean, how do you feel about that part about it? Do you feel like they have an advantage still?
I don't see it from
They don't
I
think they do. But I mean, I think
what
they're already taking hormones.
Exactly. They're taking hormones to limit the amount of testosterone that like a trans woman, right? So
Mhm.
like to limit, they're already taking hormones to, they're transitioning or they've transitioned. Like the ones that we're seeing now, they've transitioned. So they're taking hormones, estrogen and
Mhm.
other hormones, and also like it's the estrogen is to outweigh the testosterone, right? So like if the question is, do you think it's fair from a hormone standpoint and a blood panel standpoint? Yeah, I would say
So
yes.
you
But
think they?
from a physical standpoint, you can clearly see the difference there.
Yeah.
But to me, it's, if we're going to accept trans community, period, then there's going to be trans athletes that are going to be participating in sports. So
Yeah.
to me, I don't think that there is an advantage because of the transition with the hormones, and that really, really takes a toll on your body, especially when you're switching from like with male having way more testosterone than
Mhm.
estrogen, and you go and you're transitioning, you're completely flip flopping that, and like that's really tough on your body. It
Yeah.
really is. And so from I don't think so at all. I think if we're going to accept the trans community for who they are, then I already know that there's going to be trans athletes, there's going to be trans performers, there's going to be trans actors, there's going to be trans NASCAR race drivers. It's if they've transitioned, or swimmers, or whatever. To me, it's I don't see that there is an advantage, but I know that you think differently.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely think there is an advantage on that. But why do they? Why do you think they always go to the sports world with it after they transition?
I
I
don't think
think
it.
it happens all the time. I think it happens probably in every sport. We just don't hear about it as much. They just get to a certain level
Yeah.
and then it's being talked about.
Well, you have Bruce Jenner. You have Bruce Jenner that was
Yeah, he was Olympics.
exactly. He's an Olympian, and the whole time.
But he's already a big deal, you know what I mean? So that was like highlighted on
But what I'm
her.
saying is that if he was able, he had made this documentary, and if he had said, if he was able to have come out and transitioned, he would have done it before he was in the Olympics, because
Mhm.
that's who he felt that he was.
So you say he always felt like a
He
woman.
always felt that way, and only his mom knew, and his dad kind of knew, because I think it was like his dad maybe thought he was gay.
Yeah.
I don't know about envisioning or seeing himself as a woman, but if he could have transitioned prior to the Olympics, then he would have. The only reason why he prolonged it was because he was in the public eye, and because he is of a different generation where it's like, whoa, you don't do that, that's some weird shit, you
Yeah.
don't, are you, that kind of thing. And so that's why he waited for so long, and then you're in the public eye for that, then you marry into the Kardashian family, now you have kids with them. And so over the years, you can watch the shows, like he is transitioning. I mean, he goes from, in the beginning, he already looks kind of like, he had like a bad nose job or whatever,
Mhm.
but you can definitely see the hormone transition over the course of all of those episodes. And I think that it was just because he felt like he had to. I think that he was just nervous and scared to come out,
Yeah.
and that's why it was prolonged.
Do you think they need to go through before they compete? And I would be better with just go through the whole operation first and then compete,
No, I don't.
or just identify.
Wait, identify as in what
Like
though?
just say I feel like a woman and take the hormone pills and stuff like
Well, I
that.
think there's probably like more to it than
Because
like
isn't that what the swimmer did, right?
take.
I forget the swimmer. You know what I'm talking about? The swimmer.
I don't remember the swimmers.
I can't remember either, but it was an operation. She was, or he, or she, whatever, taking the hormone pills, right?
Mm-hmm.
The estrogen and all that.
Okay, then yes. Okay,
You know what I'm talking
so,
about? You remember?
So if they're
She
taking
got it.
if they're taking hormone replacements or supplements like that,
Mhm.
then I think there's a lot more to it than like, okay, what are we identifying as? So your name is this. Okay, you want to race here, and I think that there's probably a lot more into it, and that person probably unfortunately has to bring or have a lot of paperwork back up to show that yes, I was born a man. Yes, this was who I am. This is when I transitioned. These are the medications I've been on. This is for how long I've been on it.
Right.
This
Yeah,
is how fast
yeah.
I run. This is
Show
how fast
some
I jump. This
type
is
of
how fast
proof.
I mean, you might as well just put them in a museum and have, their arms spread out and like have like little bullet points over everything so that the person that's accepting them into this sport can say, okay, well, we believe you now because we've read all 87 pages front and back. Thanks for providing that, So I don't think it's as easy as like knocking on the door and be like, hey, can I join?
Yeah.
Can I join your club? Can I be on your swim team? To me, I bet you more than anything that they have to bring so much fucking backup to say, nope, I have transitioned. I identify as this. These are my medications, so that people feel or know, I don't know, feel or know, like, is there an advantage because of this? Like what your thoughts and opinions are, right?
Mhm.
If they were to come to you and say, well, here's my whole manifesto of paperwork, maybe after you're done reading it, you're just like, oh, okay, so the physique is just different. But as far as like from a hormone level standpoint, from a female born female to a trans female, it's now the same hormone levels.
Mhm.
So then it's kind of like, well, where does it get different for you? Is it just in the physique?
Yeah.
That's more noticeable.
Yeah.
Because if you had a trans person that had the money to do top and bottom surgery, along with Adam's, what they
save that fucking
jawline reconstruction. If you have someone that has that much money to be able to do that, and then you meet them and their voice is high and everything, right? To the point where you wouldn't even know that this woman is a trans woman. And so is it then when you don't know that then that's when you feel that it's acceptable?
Yeah.
My question.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't look like a man, so it doesn't raise any red flags.
Right.
But if you look more of like a male with that big male physique, it's like, okay, we're going to need to see some paperwork.
And a lot of people say that about Brittany Griner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's a constant thing that is always being brought up.
Yeah, because Brittany Griner she seems like she has more testosterone than me.
Well,
but but she's a woman.
Yeah, she's a whole woman. Just tall out there, slam dunking on people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Been through a lot and came back. So, yeah, I mean that's the same thing, but that's a woman. So.
I always wonder, because, I'm a man. I look at other men, not, I look at other men, and not like that, but.
Okay, now
but I say,
into it right now, y'all. This is where it gets real good.
Bad choice of words. Bad choice of words.
Good.
But I'm like, there's different types of men, there's different types of women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say as a woman, you have an MMA fighter, you can have Miss America. And I always wonder, like, as far as the trans, how do they figure out which one they are? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's closer to what type of woman that they are?
Oh, you're thinking way too much into it. You want to put them in a box and call it a day kind of thing. It's like which box do we put you in, and with what label?
Well, no, not put them in. I'm talking about as far as themselves.
Yeah, no, I think I think that it's not like who do I want. I think it has everything to do with just like how they already feel about themselves, that they were born male, but they feel like they've been a female. They were born female this whole time, right? And I think it's then like what their own personal style is. Are they more feminine in style, threads? Are they more masculine? I think it starts off very easy like that. It's like I like this, I like this. But I think that I don't think that it's who am I going to be, Sports Illustrated or Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of thing, I don't think it's like
so
that.
It's just like every other girl that comes up, they just figure out who they are.
Yes, totally. That's exactly what it is. You could have a goth girl that comes in here. You could have like a, what is it called these days? Like a Y2K. It's kind of like an Asian Japanese type of thing. You could have Chelsea walk in. Like Chelsea, when Chelsea walks in, right, the first thought is like gay.
Right.
Gay,
What?
gay.
Fuck no.
But
Who's this Mexican girl?
Probably all of them.
But my point, like, this is a perfect example, is because Chelsea, her attire is masculine, right? And clearly there's a difference.
I see you. Sometimes you act very feminine sometimes when you think nobody's looking.
That's what I was getting to.
I've seen you.
Stop. Y'all gonna leave me
You act
alone.
feminine when
Y'all
nobody's
don't
looking.
The only thing masculine about Chelsea is literally her threads.
Yeah, that's it.
Everything
That's
else,
it.
personality is
Y'all not gonna
hella feminine, I mean.
I've seen you.
trying to
I
hold
was
my
like,
hands
Chelsea acting
together
real
right here
feminine
so
right
that-
now.
Yeah, she's
Get
trying to
with my-
control her wrists.
I really am.
It's a matter of time before she tries to cross her leg with her
Right? I
wrist.
seen it. I was like, oh, let me find out.
Wow.
No, we don't do bugs. We don't do
Okay.
camping. We don't do
Oh, no,
dirt.
I
We don't
don't.
do outside. We don't do
I mean, I
all
do
the yucky
outside.
stuff.
I do outside. You definitely don't do bugs.
So-
No.
So
Don't do
like,
snakes.
yeah, so I think it just has everything to do with their personality already and what they like and just coming into their own. I mean, like if you like something and you see it at at the store, you're like, ooh, I like that. I'm going to get it. It's as simple as that, I feel like.
Well, man, look, I hate that you guys are late because time's already running out right now.
Oh man.
First of all, we were
But
only
y'all-
10 minutes late.
Yeah.
10 minutes, my
Messed up.
ass.
Messed up.
But
Next
man,
time.
like always, the
Yep.
conversation flows so good with y'all, man. So y'all got to come back because there's still another question I had.
Try
But-
to get it real quick.
All right, fuck it. Okay, so y'all watch Power or no?
Yeah.
I don't. Chelsea has.
So there's a guy on there plays gay, but I don't think he's gay in real life. Do you think they should give those roles to actual gay people instead of people who pretending?
No, because wouldn't that be
I-
like discrimination towards
Yeah.
the heterosexual?
I
or
don't
the
think so. I
the
think
hetero
you have
person?
good actors that can play themselves that are not getting opportunities.
Well, maybe there was something that was missing whenever they were doing that. You know,
Because at the end of the
everybody
day, it's
everybody
acting,
could
right?
use
It's
improvement,
acting.
right?
At the end of the day,
so
it's acting.
But I feel like
whoever's the best for that role, because
Yeah.
just like what's Modern Family,
I don't know his real name, but Cam and
they had
his
like
husband,
9.
oh yeah.
He's
I know what you're talking
straight. He is straight.
about. But I just
And
feel
he
like
did
I hate
He's
taking.
phenomenal.
like a manly dude straight, and he played gay.
Wait, which one is
I
that?
mean,
Which one
He's
is
the
that?
bigger
He
guy
was
with
the
the belly.
heavier
Oh, okay,
set.
okay.
Yes.
And then
Mitch was the
his
redhead.
husband
Is he
actually
is he actually gay?
he
And
actually
he is actually gay, yes. So like I think it has to
I-
do with acting. I think like, you know, whether you have a straight person coming in for a gay role, like they have to be able to nail it. Or you can have a gay person coming in for a gay role, and if they don't nail it, then they don't
don't
nail it.
nail
It
it.
has to do with acting
But-
and how they
Yeah.
feel like that person fit that role, because there are some movies that showcase actors that are gay in a gay role. So
Yeah, I'm wondering like how can, and I'm just
I don't know
I'm
how
pointing out
they're
the gay-
so
I'm-
good
I'm-
at it. I don't know how
yeah,
they're
that's
so,
what I'm
but
saying.
I
Like,
don't know how
and I know
they're
there's
so
more
good
than
at
just
it,
the gay
but
scenes in there. There's just
they're-
actual acting of other parts. But I'm like,
Yeah.
who's better to play me than me?
I mean,
As far as me, there ain't no.
off.
you know,
I ain't gonna let no white man get a tan and play black. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Like you just not gonna do it, bro.
Valid point. Valid
oh,
point.
you got white chicks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was,
When it was
that's on. Hey, that's on white people that have a problem with. I can't do nothing with.
Socially
That's on y'all.
Oh my gosh.
but even with Robert Downey Jr. and Tropic Thunder, he had on the
Yes.
but I didn't have an issue with that at all. That was funny because it was purposely meant to be funny.
Yeah.
Well,
So and I laugh at that
But I
now.
feel like you can go either way with that, you know? People's personalities and their own thoughts and their own opinions, like that could go either way.
Yeah.
They were either for it until they saw his role and they were like, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? Like, this is not even funny. It's insulting. Or it could be like, oh my God, this shit is hilarious. Look at, you know, but it just depends, I guess, on where your point of view, where you stand on that.
Mhm.
and those people that are taking those roles, you know, they got to be strong. You know what I mean? Because social media these days.
Oh yeah, they'll be on your ass. Yeah, they'll be on
And
you.
he was one of the ones that was dragged when
Like-
the whole blackface was out. It
But
was something that was latched onto as an example to say, oh, well, you know, blackface is what we were, you know, the main thing that was being discussed. And then Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Tropic Thunder
Yeah.
was that. And so they would touch on that. And then they would, I say drag, but like drag him into
they
it.
try to.
Of like,
Mhm.
okay, well, why is this acceptable here then? Why is this acceptable? Because look what he's doing. This is
Yeah.
the equivalent of blackface here, but so it's acceptable because we add Hollywood lights and makeup to it to make it more, to blanket blend more and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus someone that can't, you know, put on makeup, or they were intentionally doing it to be sloppy with it or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, where do we draw the line at acceptable?
Mhm.
Hollywood or
Yeah,
shenanigans?
yeah, no,
okay.
I get what you're saying, and with him, if you look at who was mad, it wasn't black people. It was some other media like trying to force everybody to be mad at it, because we know that there's a difference between what Robert Downey Jr. did and a minstrel show.
Yeah.
That's two different things. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So what he did was really based on comedy versus you're making fun of people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was making fun of actors playing, you know, the fact that actors play people that they're not, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, so I think they nailed it by doing that and they made it funny.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So,
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, man.
yeah, you would think it was funny,
I
wouldn't
thought, I thought it was really fun. I thought the whole damn movie was fucking hilarious. I could not get over. I was like fixated on him though, and I struggled with it too. And I was just like, I want to laugh, but I'm not sure exactly where I land on this, you know, because those things we just said went through my mind, and I'm just like,
But they have white comedians out there that do stand up and they talk about black people. They can do it because, first of all, they hit it right on and they're funny with it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just a weird stereotype.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not
I
like
agree.
offensive.
They do have
that way.
someone that can nail it.
1000%. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, they hit it. It's on point, and
Because you can't help but say, yeah, we do that shit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
if you can
yeah.
say that, we do that, then
Then you good.
yeah, you good. You good.
Good.
So,
where's the lie?
but yeah, let's end it right here. Thanks everybody for watching Not So Common Podcast with the world's most dangerous podcast and the world's most dangerous couple right here, Charleston. And yeah, we're gonna edit that part out. But yeah, you can follow us at Instagram, Not So Common NSC, Spotify, Not So Common NSC, YouTube, Not So Common NSC. What else are we on? We're supposed to do a link tree, right?
We're going to do a link tree.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Yes,
going to
I'm
do a
gonna
link
do
tree.
it.
We're going to have a link tree next week.
But yeah,
Next
this
week? Oh, you're going to be a busy lady.
I know.
You're a busy lady. Oh.
You and Deborah, I got to come through with the link trees. We'll zhuzh
Yeah.
it. It'll be on there.
and hopefully Charleston will be back soon.
We'll be
So-
back.
So yeah, thanks for getting the fam.
All right.
Bye.
All right.